Brought to you by
Hyundai Island. Conditions apply.
It's Monday, September 23, 2024. This is CVM News at noon. I'm Nika Lewis. The Met Service has issued a flash flood watch for southern and northwestern parishes until 5 this afternoon. The parishes expected to fare the worst are St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James and Trelawney. Residents in low-lying or flood-prone areas are encouraged to stay informed and be ready should a flash flood warning be issued. Fisherfolk are also urged to exercise caution as sea conditions may worsen due to the windy conditions. Now, at least one political representative is speaking out for his constituency as residents complain of bad roads due to frequent use by heavy-duty vehicles. The long-standing issue is one Northwest Manchester Member of Parliament, Michael Phillips, is now seeking a resolution for.
Taxi drivers complaining about the road surface and the operation of Jamaica with their trucks on the narrow roadway heading into Mile Gully. And just, it was averted. I had a conversation with Jamaica in how it is that they treat with their transportation of the bauxite from the mines in Mile Gully to Clarendon. And they have made a promise that there will be some road maintenance being done on the main road. But at the same time, we are encouraging them to fast track the haulage road that they have been promising us for the last 4 years that they will put into effect to take their trucks off the road. It is beyond me why it is that after 4 years we're still waiting on them to even conclude the agreements between themselves and the government and other landowners.
Meanwhile, Mayor of Kingston, Andrew Swaby, is voicing his concerns regarding the condition of the Coronation Market, citing issues with organization and vendor participation in cleaning efforts. The mayor says he intends to speak with the vendors as it will require team effort to bring the market up to standard.
No one could be ever satisfied with the state of the Coronation Market. There be some minimum standards that we are trying to reach. At least we should have the market washed even once per month. Make sure that we have all the garbage cleared away on a weekly basis, 2 or 3 times. Currently it's been done 2. What we are trying to do is if we can clear it 3 times per week. Obviously we have to speak to some of the coconut vendors because they are putting a lot of their coconut hooks, you would call it, and we'll see how we can solve that problem. But clearly, as I've indicated, that we are going to tackle these problems one by one. We have to make sure we cultivate the habit where our workers make sure that they know the minimum standard what is expected of them. And also we have to encourage the vendors that they also have a role to play in keeping our markets clean. It can't be a situation where they just come, they vend their goods there and leave it like that. We have to make them clear up some of the spots and to help us.
Veteran journalist Dashan Hendricks has been elected to helm the Press Association of Jamaica. The announcement came during the association's annual general meeting held on Sunday at their East Avenue headquarters in St. Andrew. Hendricks takes over from Milton Walker, the previous president, who will remain on the executive board as a director. Currently serving as the business content manager at the Jamaica Observer, Hendricks will lead a dynamic team. Returning members include Kimberly Hibbert as first vice president, Jovan Johnson as treasurer, Lloyd B. Smith as director, and Javon Keys as assistant secretary and treasurer. Joining the executive for the first time are Nika Lewis from CVM TV as second vice president, Rochelle Clayton of the RJR Gleaner Communications Group as secretary, and CVM's Ramon Gordon as a director. The newly elected executive will serve a 2-year term, aiming to bring innovation and growth to the association. Jamaica's health sector grapples with a shortage of staff and equipment, specifically in physiotherapy. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has promised staff at the Sir John Golding Rehabilitation Centre that more equipment is on the way. This as the centre celebrates its 70th anniversary.
When one is injured to the extent of a broken limb, a bone, head fracture, whatever, to get back their mobility, to restore normality, it's not just a function of the medication that you take from the pharmacy. You're going to have to engage in critical occupational therapy, which is to motion movement, gradually, guided by the experts, and you need equipment to do it. So since I have had the experience and I know no more now than I know before, not that I didn't appreciate the work you do before, I'm saying give me a shopping list of some of the critical equipment you need, and I'm going to commit to you that if not before, certainly within the next budget, I'm going to commit some money for you to add some badly needed or some equipment so you can treat your patients. Since we have helped to upgrade the plant, let us now try and deal with the actual equipment that you're working with.
In the age of artificial intelligence, use of a person's intellectual property has become a fear for many. Answering a query this morning on Sunrise about AI platforms using someone's voiceover was intellectual property and entertainment law attorney Annalicia Chapman.
It covers what we call in IP law personality rights. And personality rights are essentially your legal right to protect the commercial use of your identity. So it's your personality, your persona, whether it be your name, your likeness, your voice, any identifying characteristic. And the key thing with determining whether there has been any what we call misappropriation of your personality or infringement of your personality rights are, one, can you be identified by this characteristic? So it has to be a situation where they use some part of your identity, which the public at large can readily identify, okay, this is Dennis, this is Miss Kitty, etc. And so the next thing, it must be a commercial use. And then the third thing, it must be without your consent.
We take a quick break. More after these.
In need of a loan? AIM Financial is the place to go. We have loans from $20,000 to $3.3 million. Get a loan to pay school or college tuition, medical expenses, bills, fix up your house, buy furniture and appliances, repair or buy a car. And when you're done, take a vacation loan. AIM has a loan for any purpose. Call AIM today. You won't find a better deal elsewhere. Guaranteed.
Jamaica Plumbing Supply's 36th Anniversary Super Sale, September 20th to the 28th. Celebrate with us with up to 36% off at our Kingston and Portmore branches and online. Upgrade your bathroom with modern vanities, faucets, showers, and more. Plus, we now stock power tools to get the job done. Get up to 36% off during the Jamaica Plumbing 36th Anniversary Super Sale, September 20th to the 28th.
What's your story? What's your sign? We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive.
Welcome back. World leaders, including Prime Minister Andrew Holness, today adopted a comprehensive pact during the plenary session of the United Nations Summit of the Future. The agreement includes a global digital compact and a declaration on future generations. The pact addresses a wide range of issues such as peace and security, sustainable development, climate change, the transformation of global governance, and more. With the details, here's Joel Crosskill.
During his plenary statement for Day 2 of the Summit of the Future, Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness described the pact and the occasion as embodying renewed hope for advancing a common vision on leveraging multilateralism to create a dynamic framework within which future generations will thrive.
Jamaica is proud to have contributed to this historic process, particularly as co-facilitator for the Declaration on Future Generations. Mr. President, the pact aptly reaffirms the importance of achieving the SDGs. The SDG Summit in 2023 exposed the lack of progress towards SDG implementation, including the reality that small island developing states are particularly off track to meet them, with many still recovering from the pandemic.
The Prime Minister continued by pointing to the glaring SDG financing gap to small island developing states, amounting to trillions of dollars each year, as another impediment to the stated goals.
We must redouble our efforts to address global poverty, income inequality, and food insecurity. We have an obligation to limit global temperature increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, and we must deliver a future that fosters peaceful societies.
That's in addition to achieving debt sustainability, resilience to climate shocks, infrastructural development, high-quality health and education systems. However, it was on the issues of financing and peace that Prime Minister Holness chose to project Jamaica's voice on the world stage.
More particularly, we agree with the Secretary General that the international financial system is in need of radical reform. Furthermore, the UN Security Council needs to be more representative, inclusive, and effective in changing global security landscape. As a small island developing state, the pact presents a pathway for turbocharging SDC implementations, addressing the impact of and tackling the key drivers of climate change and setting the framework for making global governance more equitable and inclusive. The world is counting on us.
Joel Crosskill, CVM News.
In international news now, former U.S. President Donald Trump has said he does not expect to run for election again in 2028 if he is defeated in this November's U.S. presidential poll. Trump has been the Republican candidate for 3 national elections in a row and has reshaped the party greatly over the last 8 years. With more, here's the BBC.
Now, this may be the last U.S. presidential election for Donald Trump. Speaking in an interview to the Sinclair Media Group, he said, the Republican presidential nominee said, if he was asked, if he saw himself running again in 2028 if he were to lose the presidential election to Democratic rival Kamala Harris. Mr. Trump can only serve another 4 years if he wins, as U.S. law bars presidents from serving more than 2 terms in office. Let's take a listen to some of what he said.
If you're not successful this time, do you see yourself running again in 4 years?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I think that will be it. I don't see that at all. I think that hopefully we're going to be successful.
Let's join CBS News correspondent Naomi Ruckham, who's in New York. Naomi, good to have you with us. Pretty unusual, isn't it, to hear Donald Trump talking about anything less than winning. Is there a strategy behind these comments?
Absolutely. And there is a shift in his persona when he speaks about what could be in 4 years. Anita, good morning. Former President Donald Trump did say on Sunday that he doesn't think he'd run again for president in 2028 if he falls short in his bid to return to the White House this November. He told a journalist he thinks that would be it if he loses. The comment was notable both because Trump seemed to rule out a 4th bid for the White House and because he rarely admits the possibility he could legitimately lose an election. But keep in mind, Trump would be 82 years old in 2028, a year older than President Joe Biden is now. And Trump and many Republicans have criticized President Biden for staying